All right, so I'm back out here at the Pages sub-menu when you click right here for Pages. And we're going to go ahead and add, we talked about a rich text page before. We're going to add a form page now. And you're going to see things look just a little bit differently, but not too much. Same thing with the title. Same thing with published, and as far as your date and time stuff and all of the content details. You can reference the rich text page for that. However, there's a slightly different thing here, which is the button text. So when we go back to our example here, let me pull it back up, of the form itself, what you have is a couple different things. I'm going to show you how to build these different blocks out here, but you have a button down here, right? So in this particular spot, we can change that button text to whatever. So if you wanted it to be submit or contact us, whatever you want that to say, you can type that in right there, right? The other thing that we have is the response. So this is when somebody types in the form and submits it, you're going to have a response that says, thank you, your form has been submitted successfully. We'll be contacting you soon or something like that. So you're going to put your response message down here. The content area up here, this is essentially going to go, I guess I should explain this a little better. So contact us if we had a message that went up here. So contact us, thank you for your interest in reaching out to us. We're happy to provide service, so on and so forth. Whatever message you want to go above the form, you're going to put in the content area. Then you have your form button, and then this is the response area for when the form is submitted. So that's pretty straightforward. Now here is where you're going to enter your email address. So this is the email address the form will be sent from. So this is going to come from your business email address. So like ours is sales@bytepro.net. You would type in yours, whatever you want somebody to be able to contact you back with. If you want to send the email to other people as well to be notified of the submission, then you can also enter their emails, and it just says to put a comma in between each of them. The subject of the email, a lot of times people will use things like web form submission or new website submission, something like that for the subject line. And then it could say something like, you have a new inquiry from your website, and it will list the details below when it's actually submitted there. So you can kind of fill that out, and what I suggest doing is you fill all of this out, and then you come over to your contact page and you actually fill it out with your information and run a couple of test runs on it to make sure that it is doing what you need it to do and that all of the information is transmitting as you need it to. As we go down here, the metadata, it's exactly the same sort of thing that we talked about before, the title of the page, the URL, description, and keywords. So if you want to refer to that, you can go back to the rich text page video, and that's going to have that information in it. Otherwise, the fields, what you're going to do is you're going to name these fields. So let's say we want an email field, right? That's a pretty typical one. We're going to type in email as the label, and now we need to select the type. So here we're going to select email. What I'm going to do right now before we select that is I'll go through each one of these and kind of explain what they are. I won't be able to show you every single option. A lot of times this is going to be already built for you, so this is maybe not as pertinent because that's part of what we do with building out the website is make sure that stuff's done, but you may want to add another type of form or something, so you could need to know this. Single line text, that's literally just a single line for text. Multiple line text is going to be more like a box. So for instance, this name area is a single line text where message is a multi-line text, right? If we come back here, the email, that's just going to be formatted to take an email address. Number is going to be formatted to take a phone number. URL formatted for a website address. Checkboxes, and you see there's two different checkboxes here, checkbox or boxes. So you just kind of have to play with which one you want. This one is multiple, and with this site, there's probably a different. We probably created a different layout, so they lay horizontally instead of vertically, or something like that. A drop down, multi-line select, radio buttons. This whole thing from checkboxes to radio buttons. These are different ways to display different options. So in this particular form, we have body, skin, treatments, or other. These are options of what somebody's interested in. This could have been any one of those. It could have been the drop down. It could have been the multi-line select. It could be the checkboxes. In this case, it is the checkboxes. So those are just different ways to display that information. Date or date and time is going to be formatted. Also date of birth. Those are all formatted to take date information specifically. So you would have to type in date specific information, and it would have a little calendar box there to where you'd be able to select those options as well. So these are all sort of different things that you can pop in there. And of course, hidden is hidden. That's something that's very, very situational. You don't need to worry about it at all unless it's already been discussed with you. So no concerns there. For this one, we're just going to select email because that's the format we want. Do we want it required? Yes, we want it to be required. Visible? Yes. Now choices, you're not going to have this unless you are selecting one of the other ones, checkboxes. Between checkboxes and radio buttons, you're not going to have other choices. And actually, it looks like I forgot to mention file upload. That's just a place where you can select a file and upload it to the thing. So if somebody was going to submit a resume on your site, let's say they could upload the resume through that part of the form, and that would get sent over to you. So this is our email. We have that set up, and we'll go ahead and hit add another. And now we might need a name, right? So here we would select name, and we would just select single line text, required, visible, yes, there's no choices there again. Add another, and here we might put message, right? And here we would just select multi-line text, required, visible, yes. And then if, let's say we were going to put some options, we would put interests with a question mark, and here we might put a drop down, and the interests could be, this is where you're going to select your choices. You would put we will just call the interests interest 1, and then you're going to put a comma, interest 2, and then a comma. And as many different variables as you have, you just separate them by a comma, and you're going to end up with this same idea here. Now, because every site has a little bit different styling, it may not look exactly like this, but it's going to give you the same options in one way, shape, or form. So just know that that is what that functionality is going to do, and that's how you do your choices, is you just put them in and separate them by a comma, and each one of those will break into its own section to be selected. When you're done there, you click Save, and you will have a contact page. And of course, then you can organize that contact page back over in the Pages menu to sit wherever you want it to sit in the menu. With that, we'll come back on the next video, and we'll go over a gallery page. I'll be right back.